Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today I want to talk about Planetside 2, what's been going on with the game development on that front. There's been a lot of patches, a lot of game updates here and there. I was invited to partake in AGN, the Araxis Global Network podcast that Hannah and Jenny from Planetside Universe put on, and it was a good time. We talked for almost 3 hours, and we had a bunch of devs in chat too to sort of listen in on the conversation. And during that chat, Matt Higbee posted a Twitter pic that showed some of the new layouts that they're trying to design for Indar. Now this is very, very early stages. None of it's set in stone. In fact, it could all change depending on how it flows. But it was just a picture to sort of give us an idea of how things are going to work out. So here's the image that Matt Higbee tweeted, and at first glance it looks pretty drastically different from what we're used to. The hexes are much smaller. I've sort of dubbed the term micro hexes, and now everything looks like it flows much better. It seems like there's clear ways out of the warp gate. There's clear paths that you're supposed to take. In actuality, the map layout itself hasn't really changed at all. Just the way that we're looking at it, and some of the territories have actually been divided up slightly differently to make it a little more interesting. But now, when I'm moving out of the Indar warp gate and say I'm taking a ground vehicle, it's very clear to me that there's 4 different directions I can go. Now let's take a look at the old version overlaid directly on this part of the map. You ready? Bam! Look at these paths. It's almost hard to see the paths and where you're supposed to go. A new player getting into the game would probably be completely confused about the layout of the map and where you're supposed to go and how the flow of battle is going to go. Let's compare this again. New version, old version, new version, old version. Now, I want to avoid trying to make too many conclusions from this picture because Higbee was very specific in that this is incredibly early, nothing set in concrete. This is some stuff they're playing around with. But based on this layout here, you can sort of make the conclusion that the influence system is going to change. Territories are not adjacent like they used to be. You are not surrounded on all sides. Now some of these territories are just touching 2 other territories, the territory behind them and the territory in front. So influence could be drastically different for some of these smaller outposts. Now focus your attention to Tarwich Tech Plant on the left side of the screen. Normally that whole area that has not been captured by blue around Tarwich Tech Plant is considered part of the same territory. So you can take control towers in the territory around there, but ultimately you just have to capture Tarwich Tech Plant to take the whole region. Now they're divided. This makes tons of sense. The little satellite regions around the big tech plants or amp stations or biolabs are going to be their own individual territories. That's going to make so much more sense. Not only will it point the new player in the correct direction of what direction the attack's coming from, but it'll just make more sense in terms of potential influence or just launching attacks. Everybody's going to know where, say, the Terran are attacking from or the new conglomerate are attacking from, because you're just going to hit the map button. It's going to show you which satellite they own, and it's going to be very obvious. Currently, you can hit the map button and see which satellite they own. It's just something that's so easily overlooked and hard to tell sometimes that it's the kind of information that you want readily available and easy to decipher within seconds. Now I want to talk a little bit about what's been going on recently with Planetside, some of the server changes, new weapons, that kind of thing. So we've seen server merges. My server has gotten merged with Helios, and there is a definite population increase. Indar is much more populated now. The other continents, not so much. That's just been driving me crazy because I want to play on Amarish right now. Amarish is the continent that they said infantry is going to have better cover, better places to fight. I'm sick of Indar. I want something that's designed better for infantry combat. Now let's think about that for a second. I like the idea of having continents that flow a little bit differently. Maybe some have some great areas for big, large armor battles. Maybe some have good jungly areas for big infantry battles. But do you think it's right to have continents that really only favor armor? Because the fact of the matter is that infantry are going to be doing most of the work for any team at any point in the game. Should they have a crappy time on one continent compared to another? I like the idea of forcing certain bases to be more armor friendly, but should infantry totally get screwed? I think on Indar they totally do get screwed. Esamir, they really don't have a lot of cover on that one either. They're really kind of both armor continents in my opinion. Esamir just looks more blatantly like an armor continent, and Indar is just sort of more subtly an armor continent. So the patches have brought in some interesting changes. They've brought in new guns. We got 3 new SMGs on top of the original 3 SMGs, so now we have a total of 6 SMGs, 2 for each faction. I like all the new SMGs. I think they're all comparable, if not better, than the original ones offered. It depends on your playstyle, but my specific playstyle really does favor the new types of SMGs. Throw a laser pointer on there, hipfire, annoy people with the infiltrator class, do whatever you want. They've added pump action shotguns, which I guess is kind of an inevitability. If you have a game that's claiming to be a first-person shooter, then you gotta have pump action shotguns in it, and that's fine. They seem to be working alright. I think they're kind of worthless unless you have the extended mags, at least for the Vanu one, because I just plow through my magazine before I can get any kills. They can potentially one-shot in extreme close quarter combat, but, you know, Planetside, look at this map. Do you think you're going to be seeing a lot of close quarter combat? No, it's mostly going to be medium range, or at least medium to close range, and pump actions you need just right in your face close quarter combat. So, you know, they're an inevitability. I probably won't really be using them much because it sort of focuses you on one style of gameplay, and you know me, I'm all about versatility. So that's kind of what's new with what's being implemented to Planetside, and like I said before, if you guys watch my rant on it, I am getting a little bit tired of the gameplay because I keep trying to do the infantry combat, and I really just feel like I want to fly my scythe all the time. Some people might say fly the scythe all the time. Well, you know what? I'm a first-person shooter guy. I want to be on the ground. I want to be ground pounding. And I just feel like there's some changes that really need to be made. I want to be in the action frequently. Is that a crime? Some people are like, go play COD, go play Battlefield, where you just spawn and randomly have firefights. I like teamwork. I like fighting along my teammates and feeling like we're accomplishing goals, pushing the enemy back, or maybe defending against the enemy. I like all those concepts. I feel like Planetside really was designed for me. I feel like I'm the kind of gamer who would really appreciate this game. Just, I'm really not liking the infantry aspect. Now, the groups of people that I play with regularly in first-person shooters, no matter what shooter it is, that I've convinced to play Planetside or have just out of their own decision decided to play Planetside, most of those people have stopped playing the game. And I see that as being really sad because they're all totally in love with the concept. They see the trailers, they see all the action, they see all the stuff that really got me inspired by the game. I played the first game. I always wondered what a more refined version of the first game could be like. That would be Planetside 2. Everything about this game seems like it's something that I should love and I should enjoy, but I feel like it's just sort of in its blueprint stages still. It's like you need to add more here, you need to take away some here, before this game really starts to just flow right, really starts to gel, and provide interesting, frequent, and consistent infantry combat. I'm okay with a lull in battle after a huge battle, and it's a lot of fun, but I'm tired of like having a battle where I get into it, I'm having fun, I die, and then the game's like, alright, well, there's a huge army up there, but there's nowhere to spawn anymore, so you're going to have to go all the way back here, take a little dune buggy, take a few minute break from that battle, get back into the action, hit a proximity mine, go back, drive all the way back out to the combat. I don't know. I just feel like I need a little bit more to keep me in the action, keep me going, make me feel like I'm constantly fighting for my team and not spending the game thinking about how am I going to stay in this action if I die? What battle should I go to that's probably going to provide consistent infantry combat? I want to play strategically too. I want to look at the map and say, hey, this would be a good objective for us to capture because it's going to provide our faction with this bonus. Not look at the map and say, you know what, I could probably have a lot of good infantry fights here, not have to worry too much about vehicle spam or having accessible spawn points to get back in the action frequently if I die. But alas, I digress into another rant, and I don't want to do that. I like this game. The devs are so good at communicating with the community. I really love them for that. It's just awesome. and I see this game as potential. You know, I want it to be fun, a lot of fun for me right now. It's not. I see it as potentially being awesome if the correct changes are made to this. And I don't see the game as needing any sort of overhaul. I feel like tweaks could really get the game where it needs to be. So that kind of wraps up my ramble there. I'd love to hear what you guys think about the new map overlay. Again, remember, it's just conceptual at this point. A lot of that could change, be tossed out, whatever. I don't know how much testing's gone into it, but I'd love to hear what you guys think about that. Is it going to be a big game changer, or is it just going to make things a little bit easier to read, and for the most part battles will play the same? Love to hear what you guys think. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap, signing off.